The city maintains it is safe, though, but a lot of folks are not convinced. So hundreds are signing a petition demanding transparency and action.
And in just hours, Panthers veterans and rookies will report for the first full day of training camp. Now, while today's the first full day of camp, tomorrow marks the first actual day of practice. In case you were wondering, the first game is set for September 7th.
And rush hour traffic is commencing across the area. One of the busy spots is I-77 at Westinghouse Boulevard. In addition, still a little bit slow coming from Gastonia inbound into Charlotte on 85 northbound. But do want to let you know over towards Gaston County, still have this roadblock due to a crash from yesterday that take down some power lines. So that is blocking Bud Wilson Road from Thompson all the way to Union. Best workaround, take Beatty Road to Kendrick, where you then can get back on to Bud Wilson. Chris?
A nice afternoon, mainly in the 80s, just barely touching that 90-degree point, then the lower 90s. Wednesday's my pick of the week, by the way. It should feel a little bit drier before the mugginess returns and that excessive heat. Well, it's back. We have 95 on Friday, 98 to 99 this coming weekend, so more heat advisories likely on the way.
All right, Chris, thanks. And a reminder, the news does not end here. Coming up at 7 a.m. on WCNC Plus, we are talking live with WCNC Charlotte Sports Director Nick Carboni as the Panthers kick off training camp today. Plus, State Representative Aisha Dew is going to talk about more about the life and the legacy of the late James Ferguson. And Chris is going to have a closer look at this brief, very brief, cool down and when the temperature is going to go back up.
And by cool, we mean?
Normal.
90.
All right, of course, we're going to be streaming starting at 7 a.m. on WCNC Plus, so we'll see you in just a few minutes.
streaming live right now at 7 a.m. right here on WCNC Plus. I'm Ben Thompson.
And I'm Lisa Washington. A live look at the Queen City this morning. And today will not be as hot as yesterday, but you still have to be careful because of the heat today. Meteorologist Chris Mulcahy is going to have details on our weather impact forecast. And Chris, you say today feels more like normal.
Yes, our new normal high is 90 degrees. And guess what? Today, high right around 90. Now, a lot of us are going to range anywhere from 86 to 90 across the area, because it's a really tough forecast that some areas are going to see more rain than others. Some see none at all, while others will see more of a partly cloudy sky, and then others dealing with more of a cloudy sky. That's just a bunch of chunks of clouds and then also scattered showers and thunderstorms that'll be embracing your afternoon and then eventually racing out of here later on this evening. 72 right around Hickory is our starting point. Same thing in Lincolnton. 76 is for right around Charlotte and Monroe. Updated 73 right here around Concord. Not too bad. Yesterday's low was about 77. We are now actively starting to hit our low temperature for the morning. It's usually right about within the hour after the sun rises up, and that was at 6:26 today. 85 around Hickory, and then I have 90s right here around Charlotte and Rock Hill. There's a lot on the line with this 90-degree temperature. If we just miss it, if we end up getting the rain at Charlotte Douglas, we probably will not hit this 90-degree point, but if we do, as we'll continue our streak of now 16 days in a row of 90 degrees. If we don't, that one comes to an end and we start a brand new one. And trust me, that one's going to be another epic one where we're going to get back into the upper 90s. And speaking of, yesterday was our first day at 99. We have not hit 99 so far this year. We hit 100, we hit 98 6 times, and we've hit 90 exactly 7 times. So today could be the 8th time we do that. But crazy that the second most 90 number to pop up is 98 at 6 times. We've hit a lot of those upper 90s so far, and that's really helped us climb this chart. This is the final list for the top 5 hottest Julys on record, dating back to 1879 in Charlotte history. Now, of course, we still have days to go, but the way things are trending, we're not falling out of this list. At best, we're actually going to be gaining spots, maybe even up to the number 2, even a slight chance at hitting number 1, because our long-range forecast, this is the bottom, y'all. We have either side of 90 degrees today, lower 90s on Wednesday and Thursday, and then we're back to the mid 90s on Friday, and even the upper 90s challenging 100 degrees once again Saturday, Sunday, heading into Monday. It's really going to be the upper 90s heading in the early part of next week. And by the way, this is the end of July. Officially on Thursday, you can see there 95 degrees. Those are the last days of July. And again, we should be averaging about 90 degrees this time of year. We're well above that each and every day after today. Now, our futurecast showing a chance for rain and scattered showers and thunderstorms. As I mentioned, it's these areas of clouds that sometimes can really cloud things up. That's going to put a cap on our warm-up. Those that see these heavier downpours, they should be fairly slow moving. Better chance that we're not going to be hitting that 90-degree point, but others are going to miss out on that. It's called differential heating. So some areas get a little bit hotter than others, and that rain potential, I think, is highest really further west and southwest you go of Charlotte. Things become a little bit more organized heading into the evening, but the storm's going to be all over the place. Really tough to predict that, hey, one's going to be here at this time. You just got to note that a storm could pop up at any given point, but hey, we're used to that. That's the usual pattern for this time of year. Even though you had a front that rolled through, it's not really controlling or organizing the storm potential, nor do we really have a designated severe weather risk today, even though we do have plenty of storm fuel. Our scattered storm chances turn over to a dry chance by tomorrow. Isolated storm chances after that usual pop-up storm threat by the end of the day. And then 72 is going to be our overnight low, 73 for Thursday. The reason why this is significant is we're actually dropping down to the lower 70s, close to where we should be for this time of the year. It's our lows that have been really thriving and striving. We should have at least had an occasional morning at 69, 67. Some of us are going to drop down to that point, but all in all, it has just been a really warm set of highs and lows. So we're back to normal roughly over the next couple of days, but we waste no time cranking up the heat. Likely on Saturday and Sunday, we're going to have another weather alert day or weather alert days, meaning more heat advisories per the National Weather Service. So we're already going to be outmatching last year's number of heat advisories because of this excessive heat. Let's head over to Becca for our first look at traffic here on WCNC Plus. Good morning.
Good morning, Chris. You know, we'll take any break from the heat that we can get. Live look outside, taking out to York County. This is I-77 across the area. area. A little bit slow over towards Gold Hill Road. Everywhere else looking fast and smooth out there. A little bit of the same story as we head closer into the Mecklenburg County area. This is I-77 just north of Clinton Road. A little bit slow on those northbound lanes. So do have only one active crash across the Charlotte area, and unfortunately it is a serious one involving a pedestrian and a CATS bus. This is blocking all lanes at 3rd Street at Brevard, both directions. And we did just get an update from medic that one patient was transported to the hospital. So that's going to be the biggest issue as you head out the door. Otherwise, a little bit slow 77 northbound as well as 85 northbound, but over towards Gaston County still have this issue. Bud Wilson Road blocked in both directions from Thompson all the way to Union. Best workaround would be to utilize Beatty Drive.
Becca, thanks. Right now, folks across the Carolinas are mourning the loss of a civil rights icon. Civil rights attorney James Ferguson passed away yesterday at the age of 82.
WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane now live for us this morning. And Richard, he was considered one of the most successful defense attorneys in the entire country.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. As a matter of fact, years ago, when our ex-mayor Patrick Cannon got into trouble, he was the attorney that everyone thought was the most important person for Cannon to get to help with his legal issues. We could have gone to a number of places in Charlotte. We could have gone in front of the skyline to show his impact. We could have gone by the Levine Museum because there are artifacts in there that talk about the Ferguson and Chambers law firm. But we came here because this is the Charlotte Mecklenburg School, one of their bus barns. It's important to know that this used to be a sign of segregation here in the city of Charlotte, but that was until Ferguson and Chambers got together and went to the Supreme Court and actually used this issue, the bus, to help desegregate the city of Charlotte and then that across the nation. Civil rights attorney and local icon James E. Fergie Ferguson passed away at the age of 82. He leaves behind a legacy and landmark victories and devoted service to justice here in the Queen City. Ferguson was a Columbia Law School graduate. He co-founded North Carolina's first integrated law firm in the late 1960s, that with Julius Chambers and Adam Stein. He also taught at Harvard Law School and won civil rights cases before the Supreme Court. He was instrumental in the 1971 Swan versus Charlotte Mecklenburg Board of Education that went to the Supreme Court, which upheld busing to desegregate schools nationwide. He also defended the Wilmington 10 and other civil rights activists and earned a reputation as Charlotte's go-to advocate in police misconduct and wrongful conviction cases. Local leaders from Mayor Vilaus to the Black Political Caucus members praised Ferguson as a courageous advocate who challenged injustice throughout his career, something he spoke about right after the passing of his longtime colleague and friend, Julius Chambers.
Our community and nation have benefited tremendously from Mr. Chambers' tireless efforts to ensure that all people are treated equally. I know that he never lost his commitment to help folks who needed help, and I'm not going to lose mine.
The words of James Ferguson. His kind will not be soon seen here. We appreciate his service to his community. Right now, funeral arrangements have not been announced, but when they are, we'll let you know. We're right here in Charlotte. We'll send it back to you.
A huge loss for the community. He certainly will be missed. All right, Richard, thanks so much for that report. And our own Larry Sprinkle joins us now. I mean, you'd be hard pressed really to find people who aren't familiar with James Ferguson and, you know, his legacy in this city and really across the country.
I mean, his historical, I mean, he's going down in history for what he's done for our country,
right,
for locally. And just the thing about him, when you meet him, he is a gentleman, a true gentleman, but tough. If you wanted an attorney, James Ferguson would be on your side. He did so much for this community. If you think of the busing issue, that was he instigated that. And there's so much in the history of Charlotte, North Carolina that we owe to him and his dedication
Right.
to people, to humanity. He's just a great man and a big lost community, but he did so much. He has a legacy that will go on.
For sure. And a number of firsts.
Yeah, and so multifaceted in that, like, my encounters with him were because he was representing Patrick Cannon.
Okay.
You know, when he was in trial and got in trouble as mayor, which was 12 years ago.
Right.
And that was at the end of his career. I mean, he had already had decades and decades and decades of substantial civil rights work, and as you mentioned, the busing, that had nothing to do with defending a mayor in court or anything like that.
Without a doubt, and you know, and the thing is, until his illness, he was there. I mean, he was a part of that law firm and founded the first integrated law firm.
Yeah.
That's another legacy that he has, for sure.
Yeah.
A great man.
All right, Larry,
Great
thanks so
talk to
much
you.
joining us, adding
As
that
always.
perspective. All right, trending this morning, millions of people in shock over the death of actor Malcolm-Jamal Warner. He was best known for his role as Theo on The Cosby Show. Authorities say Warner drowned Sunday in the water off a beach in Costa Rica. Investigators say he was pulled from the water by people at the beach, but was treated by first responders. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Warner appeared on The Cosby Show for all 8 seasons as Bill Cosby's fictional son, Theo. Now, after The Cosby Show, he went on to star in his own sitcom with comedian Eddie Griffin that was called Malcolm and Eddie. He also directed several shows, including The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and All That. Malcolm-Jamal Warner was 54. This was a huge shock to a lot of people. I mean, growing up in the 80s, I loved not only The Cosby Show, but Theo. Like,
there's a huge generation of Americans. I mean, and we're talking about more than probably 100 million of us who all you need to say is Theo, and everyone knows exactly what you're talking about. It's sort of like Cher. It's like one name, and you knew exactly. You were talking about Theo Huxtable, and you were talking Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Just an iconic role in an iconic TV show.
There's all the controversy about Cosby, but putting that aside, the relationship between his father on the show and him was fantastic.
Oh, my goodness.
What a great relationship, you know. And there were so many fantastic episodes. My favorite is when he got the fancy shirt.
The Gordon Gartrell.
Yellow shirt. That's right. Amazing.
There were so many that he was in that we all remember.
Oh, for sure. And I remember just being, you know, a child and learning that these people aren't really people in real life. They're playing fictional characters. And so it was one of the like celebrities whose first name I learned. Like, he's not really Theo. He's Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Like, huge crush, love.
Yeah, I felt like I was growing up with Theo. And the best thing is you saw a lot of different appearances by Malcolm in a bunch of different shows. Like all of a sudden it was like, oh, whoa, and it get you really excited. So he did a lot of different cameos, and he was a fantastic actor from the start to the beginning.
For sure.
When I moved to New York for college, literally like the first week I was there, I went looking for the Huxtable brownstone.
Did you find it?
I did, and I was
Brooklyn Heights?
and I was disappointed that Heath and Claire were not inside. It's just, so, you know, and you know, not to take away anything from TV today, because with streamers, like, there's so much great TV content on nowadays.
Yes.
But then there's something to be said for a place where everyone, 30 million people every single week, we're all watching the same thing at the same time, 8 p.m. Thursday
night at 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
it was a great cast.
Wonderful. Yeah, it was appointment television.
Must-see TV is what they called it at the
time. It really was. You talk to your friends about
it. They called it. It was great.
He will be missed.
For sure. All right. 7:13 right now here on WCNC Plus. Live pictures right now over the White House, where President Trump promising new trade deals after meeting with another world leader. But as NBC's Alice Barr explains, it comes as he faces growing heat over the Epstein files and new red flags about his so-called big, beautiful bill.
President Trump today meeting with the president of the Philippines, expected to talk trade 10 days out from sweeping reciprocal tariffs set to hit trading partners around the world. The Treasury Secretary saying the administration is not rushing trade negotiations.
We are more concerned with high quality deals than getting these deals done by August 1st.
As U.S. businesses brace for the impact of higher import taxes and weigh passing costs on to consumers, a new report from the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office projecting the president's One Big Beautiful Bill Act will add $3.4 trillion to the national debt. with spending and lost revenue from extended tax cuts far outstripping cuts to programs like Medicaid, expected to cost 10 million Americans their health insurance.
Republicans' signature bill is the ultimate betrayal of the American people.
Republicans emphasizing the law's provisions like no tax on tips as leadership tries to brush off efforts led by House Republican Thomas Massey to force a vote on releasing the full files about notorious sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
There is no daylight between the House Republicans, the House, and the president on maximum transparency.
The House Speaker arguing to give the administration space, with the White House underscoring President Trump's request to unseal grand jury testimony and for the DOJ and FBI to release any other credible evidence, seeking to push past a lingering controversy still dividing the MAGA base.
1 year after former President Biden dropped out of the 2024 race, his son Hunter suggested in a new interview that his father's poor performance in that fateful debate may have been caused by using the sleep aid Ambien after extensive foreign travel. The former president's office declined to comment. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
7:15 now. It is the day Carolina Panthers fans have been waiting on, and a sign that football season is here.
Today, the Panthers report to training camp. The rookies showed up for their first day yesterday. That group led by first-round draft pick Teteroa McMillan. And while today is the first full day of camp, tomorrow marks the first day of actual practice. In case you're wondering, the first game is set for September 7th. Chris joins us again, and he has come upon a rather obscure, although accurate, algorithm equation
that looks promising.
That was promising
for this upcoming season for the Panthers.
Okay, so this is very, very weird, but okay, in 2002,
yes,
the Ohio State Buckeyes won their national championship.
Okay.
The Panthers the previous season had a losing record.
Yes.
But then the season to come played Jacksonville the first game, and they went to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
In 2014, same thing happened. Ohio State won. They had a previous losing record, played Jacksonville, went to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Now, in 2025, what do you know? Ohio State won, losing record. They're playing Jacksonville for the first game this year. Could it be?
I mean, I'm convinced.
I mean,
right?
Sounds promising.
Now, there's a wild card here. This is very weird.
As if that weren't wild enough. Okay.
All in 2002, in 2014, and now 2025, J-Lo had either filed or officially confirmed a divorce that year.
I mean, some might say the worlds are aligning.
So I'm just saying.
That's three things.
That's three things, and things come in threes. So I don't know. I made the bold prediction that the Panthers are going to make the playoffs this year. So mark it here on WCNC Plus.
Put all that together.
I don't know. And
I'm impressed.
Yeah, and I went and checked it just because I wasn't just going to quote some random person on the internet.
Right.
Yeah, now it's now becoming a conspiracy theory. So Panthers, we'll see. Place your bets. I'm not going to place your bet, but
all right.
Okay.
Well, switching gears now to the Heat, because you know what, it's not going away anytime soon, and it's creating some serious safety issues out there.
That's right. In fact, WCNC Charlotte's Miles Harris takes a look at people who have to work outside, trying to stay safe in these sweltering conditions.
From construction workers to moving crews, Charlotte's outdoor workforce faces heightened risks during the summer heat, which is why health experts stress safety protocols are critical.
The heat is really just our biggest issue.
For people who work outside, adjusting to the heat is a must in efforts to stay safe.
With the heat, generally our natural body's response is to dilate your arteries. You're going to want to sweat. You're losing a lot of volume. So it's important to stay on top of that.
That's why some businesses like Morris Jenkins are making sure their staff is staying safe.
The breaks are the most important part. Go sit in your van, cool down, then come back and finish the work. I'd rather take a little bit longer on the job to get it done right than risk the health of the technician.
But it's not just workers. Medics says they responded to 15 heat-related calls here in Charlotte over the weekend.
You want to be careful in the heat.
Dr. Rohit Bandari with Piedmont Medical Center urges hydration before and during any outdoor activity.
So when you are sweating, you're losing that potassium, you're losing the sodium.
To protect you and your family from heat-related illnesses, Mecklenburg County Public Health recommends limiting physical activity outside, drinking plenty of water, and wearing lightweight, light-colored, loose-fitting clothes. In Southeast Charlotte, I'm Miles Harris, WCNC Charlotte.
Thanks a lot, Miles. And by the way, I was bringing up my little Panthers conspiracy theory with Ohio State and everything. Miles, huge Buckeye fan, so I think he supports this as well. Hottest days of 2025. Well, yesterday was number 2. June 25th, we hit 100 degrees. It was that day that we actually hit 110 heat index. Yesterday, it looks like we spiked to about 105. You could split hairs there. Technically, it could be 106. So there's 5-minute observations go up to every 5 minutes, even per minute. And it's usually an average. So we averaged about 105 for our peak heat index yesterday. But then outside of that, 6 times we've hit a high of 98. It has been a wild July, y'all. So this is by far one of the hottest that we've had on record. It is a cooler day today, though. Highs and even our heat indices are cooler by about 9 to 10 degrees. So the word of the day is cooler, even though it's not a cool day. Now for our daily planner, it's July 2nd, but it's also National Mango Day. Becca's excited about that one. And National Hammock Day. And I have no idea what this type of fudge is. And I'm not going to try to say what that fudge is. But anyways, just letting you know, it's that type of fudge day. And then we have a high right around 90 degrees. Here's the deal. We're going to have passing showers and storms. So this is going to really create our high temperatures to be all over the place. Some of us, I think, will range anywhere from 85 to 90 across the greater Charlotte area, because some will see rain, others will not, others will see more clouds, and then others will see more of a sunnier afternoon. But still, it's all mixing and scattered throughout the day. Also, another stat for this afternoon, today our average high officially returns to 90 degrees. It was from the 11th to the 21st of July that we averaged 91 degrees. Now it's down to 90, and it's not until August 9th that we're back to 89. And then the Ghost Pepper's also in town tonight, so there's a chance for a little bit of rain for this game, but at least it's not nearly as oppressively hot. When that game starts, we'll be in the mid to the upper 80s. Still a real feel close to 90 degrees, but it is feeling a little bit better. Overnight tonight, only falling down to the lower 70s, so that's great. 73, and then we're right back up to the mid to the upper 70s, where we pretty much have been for the rest of the month. And there's that 7-day forecast again. Enjoy the cool down while we have it, because this is the only stretch that we're in the lower 90s over the next 10 days. Then once we hit 95 on Friday, we're talking about the mid to the upper 90s for the rest of the month, and more heat advisories likely for this coming weekend, where that 98 and 99 could feel like 104 to 106 once again. So we're continuing to repeat ourselves, Becca. You can't escape the upper 90s. I think we're really looking forward to fall.
Yeah, not looking forward to this upcoming weekend. Live look outside over towards I-77 at Atondo Avenue. A little bit slow on those southbound lanes as drivers head and approach to Uptown, but also am tracking this new incident out there, and this is going to be just outside of Uptown over towards Elizabeth, and this is blocking all outbound lanes of 7th Street at Charlottetown Avenue, and this was tagged with an injury as well, so do be aware of that. In addition, Uptown still have this blocked due to a pedestrian accident involving a CATS bus. 3rd Street at Brevard is blocked in both directions. This likely won't clear until around 9 o'clock. Big picture, still a little bit slow over towards 77 northbound coming from York, inbound into Mecklenburg County, as well as 85 northbound over towards Gaston County. Also do want to let you do have this stalled vehicle on Christenbury Road at Gibbon Road, causing just a few minor delays there. And then still over towards Gaston County, Bud Wilson Road still blocked from Thompson all the way to Union.
Hi, this is Sprinkle time for our Tuesday Tailwagger along with their friends at Animal Care and Control. Last week we featured the guy by the name of Blue, and Blue still there, still waiting for his forever home. Let's bring on, speaking of big guys, this is Taz. Taz is a great dog. He weighs about 50 pounds. He's about 4 years old. He is just a fine dog, loves to be outside, loves to play with his ball, very active, great on a leash, but also a nice couch potato too. Just a really happy, friendly dog. Probably better if there's no other dog, and especially no cats, please. His name is Taz. By the way, Animal Care and Control, Monday through Friday, they're open 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Here he is one more time. His name is Taz. He's about 4 years old, weighs 50 pounds, and Taz is our very special Tuesday Tailwagger.
All right, Larry, thanks so much. With back to school around the corner, parents are about to get even more busy. To help make things easier, Levine Children's just launched a new virtual care program for kids. It allows families to get a range of services online, including checkups and follow-up care. That service runs from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week. Speaking of back to school, we want to tell you about the school supply drive that we are hosting. Many students begin the year without the supplies they need. That's why we're partnering with United Way. You can scan that QR code you see right there on your screen to donate now, or you can go to our website, WCNC.com/community. You can donate until August 11th.
All right, 7:25 right now. Live pictures are over uptown. Another look at breaking news, weather and traffic coming your way right here on WCNC Plus.
Well, hello everyone. Today's highs are going to be right around 90 degrees. It depends where you are. We're going to have some passing showers and storms, a range of 85 to 90 across the area for our highs. But that just means that we're hovering in the 80s most of the afternoon. Mix of cloud and sunshine. At times it will be a mostly cloudy sky and could be a little bit darker as you have a passing shower or storm. Isolated storm chances really reside for the rest of today. After today, though, we're drying out for one day. No chance for rain around the Charlotte area, at least on Wednesday. Slight chance for rain in the mountains, but that's our pick of the week. Should be feeling a little bit better as well. 92 degrees again on Thursday with a chance for an isolated storm, and then the mid to the upper 90s this coming weekend. We have a likely heat advisory again for Saturday and Sunday, even heading into Monday. Becca, take it away. What's going on?
All right, out of the roads now, a fairly quiet start, especially on 77 live view just before you hit Sunset Road. Traffic moving along nicely there. Now, I do want to let you know of this happening over towards Elizabeth. We have this injury accident blocking outbound 7th Street at Charlottetown Avenue. Emergency vehicles currently on the scene. And then at uptown 3rd Street at Brevard, that is completely blocked in both directions due to an injury accident that also does involve a CATS bus. In addition, big picture, still a little bit slow. 77 northbound coming from York and bound into Mecklenburg County will likely add about 10 to 20 minutes on that morning commute.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining us live on WCNC Plus at 7:30. I'm Lisa Washington.
And I'm Ben Thompson. Becca is following a pedestrian heading uptown. That's what you're going to see on the bottom right of your screen throughout the next few minutes. We'll get to that coming up in just a second. But first, happening today, neighbors will gather for a community rally along Sugar Creek Road. They're calling on local leaders to step up and address the crime, the drugs, the prostitution that's plagued that neighborhood for years.
WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards is live for us this morning. Now, Destiny, you actually spoke to folks ahead of today's rally.
Yeah, that's right. I spoke with a couple of the organizers of this rally, and they say there's been a lot of frustration about this that's been just building over the years. They say that they're tired of seeing their streets overrun with crime, drug activity, and neglect. And that's why today at 5:30, Sugar Creek residents and community leaders are coming together to demand urgent action for their neighborhood, especially along Reagan Drive and Sugar Creek Road. Organized by Charles Robinson, founder of One Time Inc., the group says families here have witnessed violence, prostitution, drug sales, and public indecency right outside their homes and businesses for years. Robinson says the city's efforts so far, including new streetlights and surveillance cameras, haven't made a meaningful difference. At this rally, they want to bring attention to the issues in the community and are calling on city and county leaders for more than temporary fixes.
When a terrible situation happens, we have a lot of leaders that, come out. I need you to come out right now because this is something that is horrific on Reagan Drive.
The state of the corridor area didn't happen overnight. It happened over years. So we have to continue to invest, and it's going to be a multi-year effort.
Charlotte's Mayor Pro Tem Dante Anderson plans to be at tonight's rally and says the Sugar Creek area is part of the city's Corridors of Opportunity initiative, a multi-year plan to invest millions in infrastructure, affordable housing, and safety improvements. Now, this rally is going to kick off at 5:30 tonight at the intersection of Reagan Drive and Sugar Creek Road. And Robinson says this is just the beginning for them. Ben, Lisa.
And Dusty, what specific changes do neighbors want to see, and what's standing in the way of those happening immediately?
Yeah, so this rally is organized by One Time Inc. and then also a coalition called the United Neighborhoods of Charlotte. And they basically said they want to see consistent police presence, targeted crackdowns on drug and prostitution hotspots, mental health and homelessness outreach, and also they want a city, county, or state liaison to basically work with the community to find long-term solutions. Robinson also says that, again, this is just the beginning. So they plan to have a safety town hall in the future. They plan to make an appearance at city council to push for these changes and also talk about, what's actually possible. But as they said, they want more than just temporary fixes. And when I talked to Dante Anderson, she basically said, it's something that's going to take time, again, because this has been something that's been building for years. She talked about the Corridors of Opportunity initiative, which has taken some motels in the Sugar Creek area offline. It's converted some of them to affordable housing. There's been federal funding for more streetlights in the area. There's the Safe Biz CLT program, which put more security cameras in the area. But there are things in the works to create long-term change. One of those, she said, was the city budget allocating for money for a new youth engagement office to keep young people off the streets, because she said there's a lot of reoffending that's happening in terms of crime by people who are 25 years and younger. So she does plan to show up to this rally. I asked in the interview if she was going. She said yes. She is also the District 1 representative, which includes the Sugar Creek neighborhood. She said she plans to go to show support, but also engage and listen to what people are wanting as well. So hopefully some open conversations are going to happen about what's realistically possible in the short term and the long term.
All right, Destiny Richards reporting live for us there in Northeast Charlotte. Destiny, thank you. All right, 7:35, turning back to your forecast. And Chris Mulcahy, today is going to be, shall we say, not quite as unbearably hot.
Yeah, I think that's good. Not quite as unbearably hot, normal, 90, kind of hot. not excessively hot. So yeah, a bunch of different versions that you can describe today's heat, and it really is going to be a nice change by about 10 degrees. That's pretty significant, especially for this time of year. You don't oftentimes have huge swings like that. It takes a front, and that's exactly what happened. We do have a little bit of visibility issues, mainly outside of our viewing area, but I'm showing some lower clouds right here in Lylesville. This is what's going to make our temperature profile all wacky across the area. Some of us are going to be seeing more of a cloudy sky, while others are seeing perfect sunny skies. Just going to be a really changing sky throughout the day. Every hour could be different realistically for the afternoon. One could have rain, one could have sunshine, one could be overcast sky, and kind of rinse and repeat. Over the last several days, we've either been in the mid to the upper 90s. We were at 97 on Friday, then 96, 98, 99. Yesterday officially was the second hottest day of 2025, and 90 degrees today. So I'm going bold here, just factoring in, I think you're going to see a little bit more sunshine than what the models are showing. But if we do have a couple of thunderstorms that roll past Charlotte Douglas, then that's going to kick this and keep us in the 80s. If that's the case, that's fine. We're going to end our heat streak of 90 plus. Right now we're on day 15. If this verifies, that would be day 16, and we're heading well beyond that into the 20s. Would be one of the longest stretches in a row. So we will see. But regardless of it 88 or 90 degrees, streak continues or not, it's still significantly cooler than where we have been. But this is only a brief break. We're right back in the mid to the upper 90s by Friday, headed into Saturday. So carpe diem, my friends, translates to seize the day, or seize the days is what we should say, because it's only going to be a short stretch that we're in this range. We'll eventually return to it, but really not in the near term. The average low is 70 degrees. Average high is 90 degrees. We're either right around the average or slightly above over the next few days and the next few mornings. Tomorrow morning at 72 and 73 for your Thursday. Here's a look over the next 36 hours. What we're tracking, this front's going to dive its way down towards the south, but we are still going to have some areas of instability that's going to allow for some training showers and storms. Don't have any designated threats that are associated with this, but still you're going to have a storm potential, as we typically do whenever it's this hot and humid. So even though it is a little bit cooler, you still have the right profile for some of those storms. Our severe weather risks over Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, nothing really that's associated from the Weather Prediction Center. However, for excessive rainfall, you were seeing that there's a much better chance the further west and south that you go. It's really south of Charlotte that we have a good potential for that, and really further west right here in the mountains. We've seen a lot more rain here in these zones compared to the rest of the area. Truly, some spots, it's really a county per county basis, even parts of the county. I think some of us are going to be dealing with more of drought status over the next couple of weeks if we don't get some significant rain here in the near term. 7-day forecast shows the lower 90s over the next 3 days, and then mid to the upper 90s take over, and we'll be around that range to complete the month of July. That officially ends on Thursday. Now let's start up traffic with Becca to see what's going on this Tuesday.
All right, taking you out live over towards Huntersville. This is a live look from I-77 at Sanford Road. A little bit slow on those southbound lanes. Pretty typical for this time of day. Right now, drive times Matthews to Uptown will take about 26 minutes. Salisbury 49, Waxhaw 39, and Belmont about 24 minutes. Got lots of red in the usual spots, including 77 northbound, 85 northbound, also a little bit slow over towards the Huntersville area, as well as the inner loop of I-45 over towards southern Mecklenburg County. Want to start with the good news in terms of incidents across the Charlotte area. This incident has cleared. It was blocking all outbound lanes of 7th Street at Charlottetown Avenue. In addition, that uptown incident that did involve the Cats bus plus a pedestrian struck at 3rd at Brevard, well, that has completely cleared as well. In addition, though, tracking this new crash, this is Brookshire Boulevard south at North Hoskins Road. Look at that stretch of orange, so we'll likely add several extra minutes to that morning commute. In addition, stalled vehicle on Christenbury Road at Gibbon Road still causing just minor delays at this point.
So Newton police officer facing murder charges this morning after he shot and killed a man last month. Officer Carlos Uribe killed 21-year-old Camden Childers on June 26 after a brief police chase ended in a confrontation in Conover. Investigators say Uribe tried to pull Childs over for speeding and reckless driving. He's now on administrative leave.
A Mooresville Pet Grooming Company is under fire this morning after a former employee shared some shocking video of dogs being mistreated. WCNC Charlotte's Tradisha Woodard has a closer look at the response and what pet parents need to know.
Classy Critter Pet Resort and Spa. They're known for their clean cuts and hospitality.
Some of the staff members
are just such great people.
But now a disturbing video has cracked that image wide open, showing what has happened behind closed doors when no one's watching.
I was in complete shock because we've been going there for 3 years.
A client who wishes to remain anonymous says the video is disturbing and hard to watch. It shows a dog restrained on a grooming table, jerked, punched, and visibly terrified.
And I don't even know, after seeing this video, how long this person worked there. I kind of feel like that if something happened once, there's a possibility of happening again.
The owner of the facility has addressed the situation on social media via emails and to all incoming callers.
Hi, if you're calling about the video that is going around social media, the behavior is totally unacceptable and it was addressed immediately, and the employee no longer works here. She was also reported to Animal Control and the Sheriff's Office. I have zero tolerance for any type of abuse with the animals in my care. I have made this clear with my employees.
But still, some pet owners say the damage has already been done. The broken trust has many walking away for good.
Will we go back? No. After this, and I'm sorry to say that, but I think we're going to end up having a mobile groomer instead, and that has a camera and leaves their door open.
Tradisha Woodard, WCNC Charlotte.
The Mooresville Police Department and Iredell County Animal Services are aware of the allegations and tell us this is an open and active investigation. In just hours, Kings Mountain city leaders are set to meet as frustrations boil over about the city's tap water. Neighbors say it tastes funny and smells even worse. Last week, the mayor received backlash after suggesting that those who don't like it should run for city council.
Feels like if you want to do something about the water, just run for council and fix it yourself. And my response is kind of like, well, that's why you were elected.
The city maintains the water is safe, but many people just aren't convinced. Hundreds have signed a petition demanding transparency and action. Tonight's meeting could be a chance for people to get some answers.
In just hours, Mecklenburg County will swear in its new election board. The 5 members will oversee the upcoming city election here in November and next year's midterm. And speaking of elections, the city council race taking shape. One council race heating up fast ahead of November. Republican James Bowers now challenging incumbent Tijuana Brown for her District 3 seat. While Brown is facing a federal indictment this morning, she says she is not giving up. But Bowers says he's not deterred by the battle either.
Many times we see decisions that are based on attracting people who are outside the family. But I look at Charlotte as my family, and I want to do what's best for them.
Before the general election in November, first Brown faces 3 challengers in the Democratic primary: Montravius King, Joy Mayo, and Warren Turner.
A major development this morning in a case that's been at the center of national conversation for years. After 5 years of waiting, a federal judge sentenced former Louisville police detective Brett Hankinson to 33 months in prison. He was convicted of violating Breonna Taylor's civil rights after shooting blindly into her apartment during a deadly raid in 2020. Attorney Ben Crump and the Taylor family say this wasn't the sentence they wanted, but they are thankful that he will serve time.
And so we are grateful that he is at least going to prison, and have to thank for those 3 years about Breonna Taylor and that her life mattered.
Hankinson will also serve 3 years of probation.
This morning, newly unsealed documents revealing new details about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The Trump administration just released more than 240,000 pages of FBI surveillance that had been locked away since 1977.
The files show FBI leads after Dr. King's assassination and the CIA's interest in his fight on war and poverty. It's still unclear, though, whether these records shed any new light on his death. Well, it feels like we just can't get any relief from the heat. So you may be wondering, is this normal, or could this be the hottest July we've seen?
It feels like it for sure. WCNC Charlotte's Megan Bragg verifies for us.
You really can't escape it. It's been hot for days on end. So let's take a look and see if this is the hottest July.
Our source is WCNC Charlotte meteorologist Chris Mulcahy and the National Weather Service.
So it's not like we've never seen this before, but it definitely is unusual.
The National Weather Service has kept temperature data in Charlotte since 1879.
According to that data, so far, 2025 is the third hottest July with an average of 83.9 degrees. 1993 takes the number one spot with an average of 85.4 degrees.
But the biggest thing with this one is we've seen a lot more of these heat advisories. We've also seen a lot more streaks of 90 plus. So we've had less days in the 80s. So that's why I think a lot of people are like, we've never seen this before.
Chris says we have also seen less rain this July, which makes it feel hotter. So we can verify that no, this is not the hottest July so far. 1993 still holds that record. Media Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
And if there's something you would like us to verify, it's quite simple. All you got to do, email us at verify@wcnc.com. 746, turning back to your forecast with Chris. And Chris, bring us up to date. Where do we stand when it comes to the hottest Julys on record?
All right, we're still number 3. So this is the final data except for, of course, 2025 because we still have about 10 days left and 84.1. So when Megan was interviewing me yesterday for that, we were 83.9, but a high of 99 definitely helped us get up a little bit more. And you can see that we are well off by over a degree from the 4th spot. Ben actually asked me a question earlier saying that, hey, do you think that we could take over number 1 or number 2? So I crunched the numbers and I physically went through what our forecast is for our lows. We're ranging about 72 to 75 for the rest of the month. And our high temperatures, so it's just saying all this verifies, and if you're splitting a couple degrees, it doesn't really matter too much. 98, 99, 98, that should get us up there. Well, I think the closest we can come is the number 2 spot. I think 1993 is going to be safe. 1993 also had 33 days in a row that were at 90 plus. That definitely helped them out. So don't think it's going to be the hottest on record, but honestly, top 3 I think is close enough, right? Here's a little bit of relief that we have on the way. Today, yes, likely is going to be anywhere from the upper 80s to around 90 degrees, but we're still pretty muggy, so you're feeling it. Tomorrow was an easy choice for our pick of the week because check this out. These dew points are actually on the way down. We had a cold front that moved through earlier this morning, and sometimes it takes about 24 hours, sometimes up to 36, for that drier air to finally get here behind it, and that's exactly what we're going to see. So tomorrow will still be humid, but it's actually going to feel a lot better compared to where we have been because you kind of get to play the game. Which one of these days don't go together? Tomorrow, and that's why it was an easy choice for pick of the week. It's going to be a dry day as well, so no rain chances as well before we're right back to the usual muggy weather, even near tropical weather heading into the early part of next week, and that's going to support more rain chances, so a nice little break at least in the near term. Current temperatures right now, 76 degrees, 73 right around Concord. And our highs today, it depends. Some are going to hit about the mid to the upper 80s, some just barely touching that 90-degree point. We'll have a mix of clouds and sunshine for the time being. But we also went through and counted our different 90-degree days. It is crazy. We've hit 90 or 90 to 99 34 times. We can do 90 plus 35 if you include the 100-degree day that we had back in June. So it has been quite the stretch so far. So one more look at that 7-day forecast, you can expect that those temperatures are only going to be on the rise. We had heat advisories for 4 days in a row. Well, we could start another stretch of that. Right now, it looks like 98 to 99 this coming weekend. Likely, you're going to have heat indices reach anywhere from 104 to 106 Saturday and Sunday, and we could even include Monday into that as well. So right now, we're weather alert for this coming weekend as the hot weather regains compliance yet again. 95 to 99 Friday, and for the last days of the month. It's been quite the stretch, Becca. How's traffic been stretching so far this morning?
Yeah, not too bad out there, especially as we take a live look outside over towards the Iredell, Mecklenburg County line, I-77 just north of Griffith Street. Traffic moving along nicely, both those north and southbound lanes. As we check in on South Carolina, live look outside from 77 across York County. Really only one area that we are seeing some slowdowns at 77 northbound at Gold Hill Road. Pretty typical for this time of day, but 77 northbound is pretty much gridlocked, stop and go from York County all the way to about Clayton Road. So do keep that in mind. A big stretch of red there. In addition, newest incident on the report is going to be this crash in East Charlotte. This is at Idlewild Road at the intersection of East W.T. Harris Boulevard. In addition, still also have this active incident, Brookshire Boulevard South at North Hoskins Road. Stalled vehicle has cleared on Christenberry Road at Gibbon Road, so that's going to be the good news. And then heading over to Gaston County, Bud Wilson Road still blocked from Thompson all the way to Union. Best work around, take Beatty Road, Kendrick, where you can get back on to Bud Wilson.
All right, Becca, thanks. There is growing controversy this morning over the use of antidepressants during pregnancy. Doctors are now firing back after an FDA panel questioned whether antidepressants even work. Most panelists focused on the potential risks during pregnancy, like autism or miscarriage. But psychiatrists say there's no strong evidence to support those claims and that the FDA ignored the real risk of untreated depression for moms and babies. Getting outside in the sun is a good way to get vitamin D, but with the recent hot temperatures, you might not be outside as often.
So how else can you get what is an important vitamin? WCNC Charlotte's Megan Bragg shares the everyday impact you need to know about.
So it's one of those vitamins that our body needs, but it's not always obvious when we're deficient. In fact, many of us are walking around with deficiencies. So it's really important to get your vitamin D levels checked.
According to the Cleveland Clinic, vitamin D plays an important role in our bodies and can help with things like bone health. Just a couple of minutes outside several times a week should be fine. But cardiologist Dr. Pyle Coley says it depends on your location as well.
So if you take the exact same person and expose the exact same amount of skin and put them in Miami in the summer, they would need only about 3 minutes of exposure. You put them in Boston in the winter, they would need about 20 minutes of sun exposure to get the same amount of vitamin D.
If you can't get outside as much, Dr. Coley says make sure you're eating vitamin D enriched foods.
These are foods like, yogurt or orange juice or, fatty fish, egg yolks. These all have high contents of vitamin D. So you want to make sure you're getting enough vitamin D from your food as well.
The Cleveland Clinic recommends talking with your doctor if you would like to take a deeper dive into how vitamins can impact your health. Megan Bragg, WCNC Charlotte.
Time now to connect the dots. That's when we make the news make sense. A plant that's legal in North Carolina is landing people in jail. And now a new court ruling gives police even more power to make those arrests.
Smokable hemp is legal in North Carolina, but that doesn't mean marijuana is. And a new court ruling just blurred the line even more. Let's connect the dots. Hemp and marijuana look and smell the same, but hemp doesn't get you high. That's made it hard for police to tell the difference. Still, people have been arrested based on smell alone, even if they were carrying legal hemp. Now, North Carolina's Court of Appeals says officers don't need any proof, just the smell is enough to justify a search. That has some defense attorneys and business owners sounding the alarm, warning it could lead to more racial profiling and false arrests. It's also a problem in court. Even the state crime lab admits it still can't tell hemp from marijuana. But juries are still convicting and prosecutors are still charging. Critics say this opens the door for abuse and puts innocent people at risk. And that's connecting the dots.
Well, while we still have more than a month of summer left, Starbucks is already looking toward fall. The coffee chain announced its pumpkin spice latte is set to return on August 26th. The fall lineup will also include pumpkin cream cold brew, iced pumpkin cream chai, and a pecan crunch oat milk latte. That last one sounds really good. I'm not a PSL, but I know a lot of people are PSL lovers.
Yeah, it's a little bit overhyped, but you know what? It is good at the end of the day.
It's good along with pumpkins and leaves falling.
And October.
And October.
Chill
and
in the air.
Crisp, chill in the air. Not exactly 99 degrees like it was yesterday.
You said you can get it iced and enjoy
yes.
an iced
It's the way to do
PSL
it.
on a 90-degree day.
Yeah.
You don't think that's too early?
No, I definitely
Gets
do.
you in the mood.
Yeah.
Oh.
But you're talking to a man who has pumpkins right now. So.
In the middle of summer, he has pumpkins.
Just since we have just a little bit of time, I accidentally grew a pumpkin patch in my front yard. And they've already produced 3 pumpkins. They combine for 67 pounds worth of pumpkins. Now I have another 7 that are growing, and likely those are going to peak in August. So I just didn't get the timing right.
Just need to time it better next year.
They're beautiful pumpkins.
He's been offering them to whoever will take one.
Nobody will take them.
A pumpkin in July for decorative.
Here's your guy.
I mean, he's got them.
And that's why Starbucks doesn't do PSLs in July, because nobody will take pumpkins in July.
Fair point. Fair point.
All right, well, we are going to take a quick break right now, but you keep it right here on WCNC Plus. You never know what you're going to get here. We're going to be right back with more of the day's top headlines and a check on the weather and traffic, and no pumpkins, we promise.
Wow. 99 degrees was the high yesterday. Today, in the upper 80s to around 90 degrees. We're going to have some periods of clouds, which is going to inhibit our high temperature. Also, we're going to have a few areas of rain, but we're going to get close to that 90-degree point. So at least we're ranging in the 80s. The entirety of yesterday afternoon was well into the 90s, but this brief break is not going to last long. Check it out, 92 degrees by your Wednesday. Wednesday is our pick of the week, by the way. No chances for rain. It's also feeling a lot better. That's the least humid day as well. And then 92 degrees on Thursday, but then we start to see a return of something. The usual 20%, meaning a chance for an isolated shower, a thunderstorm to pop up because that heat and humidity is going to be around. And then here it comes back, 95 on Friday. Heat advisory is likely for this coming weekend with highs in the upper 90s. Say it ain't so. It's back in action. We're also back over to traffic with Becca Birdsall. Good morning.
Good morning. I am following a potential new crash on I-77 southbound over towards Gilead Road in Huntersville. This is a live view from the scene. Don't really have a live view from that crash, but you can see how slow traffic is. That is stop and go. I would expect delays up to around 10 minutes. In addition, still slow around 77 northbound. And also want to let you know this new crash over towards East Charlotte, eastbound Harris Boulevard at Idlewild Road. You can see that crash over towards the center lane, blocking 1 to 2 lanes of traffic.
streaming live right now at 8 a.m. here on WCNC Plus. I'm Ben Thompson.
And I'm Lisa Washington. It is the day that Carolina Panthers fans have been waiting on, and a sign that football season is here.
Today, the Panthers report to training camp. The rookies showed up for their first day yesterday. That group led by first-round draft pick Teteroa McMillan. And while today is the first full day of camp, tomorrow's going to be the first day of actual practice. And in case you're wondering, the first game is set for September 7th. We're supposed to bring in Chris right now, but Chris is not with us.
We were waiting for Chris to come join us, and I thought he was heading over.
I just thought you guys would handle it.
And just like that,
here I am.
We need you to put on your sports hat because I know you've been following this.
Okay.
And you have uncovered somewhere, I don't know, in the depths of the internet,
Right. Yeah, and
some things that could be promising about the upcoming season for the Panthers.
Okay, and this is, I'm basing this is my prediction for them making the playoffs solely on this. All right, so it's complicated, but follow me at home.
Okay.
2002, Ohio State wins the national championship.
Okay.
But the previous year, the Panthers had a losing record. Now, in 2002, the Panthers played the Jaguars week 1, went to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
2014, Panthers have a losing record. Ohio State wins the national championship. Panthers play the Jaguars week 1, they go to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Got it.
2025, Panthers have a losing record. Ohio State wins the national championship. Who will we play in week 1?
Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's happening, y'all, just by that alone, because of one guy on the internet. Now everyone's trending it. So
I mean, that's more insight than I feel like
Stranger things have happened.
It's true. And history repeats itself, as we clearly have seen. And they look much better. They now have weapons. They now have actually a really good offensive line. So are we saying there's a chance?
Just
Absolutely.
saying.
It could happen. It looks better than it has the last few years.
Okay. Well, I was supposed to do weather for training camp, but instead I'm peddling pumpkins. Who wants these pumpkins? Look at that.
You're not going to let it go, huh?
I'm not going to let it go. Well, because also Lisa falsely said no more pumpkins after this. And I said, no. Do not make promises you cannot keep. There's Romeo, who's trying to sell these pumpkins. I'm not selling. I'm just trying to give them away. That's 67 pounds worth of pumpkins in July.
Those are good-looking pumpkins.
Thank you.
They look great.
For those just joining us at 8 a.m., we referenced in the last hour that you have unexpected pumpkin patch now in your yard.
Okay, yeah. So
tell us how this all started, Chris.
So we had pumpkins from, of course, the previous Halloween. I threw them in the corner like a negligent husband, and then I had to dig out the beds. But what happened was those pumpkins rotted out, and of course, rotted pumpkins leave seeds. Well, there's holes in our front yard, so I left a pile of dirt, also left it unattended for about a month, and all of a sudden this big leaf popped up at the end of May, and the next thing you know, we have a pumpkin patch that's double the size of this desk in our front yard, and we have 7 more that's on the way that are about the size of, I would say, a bowling ball. So those are probably going to be ready in August. So again, way too early.
I mean, I would think it takes people, years to hone this craft and really get good-looking pumpkins like that. And,
by accident.
And here you are by accident.
He's going to take them to like the state fair and get blue ribbons.
The neighborhood pumpkin farmer.
Yeah, come on down. The hay rides are going to be quite short, but we're going to have the Mulcahy family pumpkin patch, which, by the way, perfect pumpkins, but I think the saying goes, timing's everything, and we certainly do not have really good timing right now. All right, well, there was my attempt. Just message me on Facebook if you want a pumpkin. Before they rot, maybe you can draw a flower on it. I don't know what you're going to do with it. Well, you can see this pumpkin orange here in the background. We're up to 77 degrees. We did have 76, so we begin our warm-up. We're 13 degrees away from getting up to 90. We'll see if we do, because that's significant. If we do that, that's day 16 in a row of 90+, and that'll bring us well into the 20s as far as the overall stretch. So a lot's relying on this. However, we're already seeing the clouds take over. So today is going to be a mostly cloudy day overall. Just the power of that sunshine. We'll see if it gets us up to that point. After today, though, 90, 92 to 95, and then we have the upper 90s, 98 to 99 going forward. So, yeah, we're right back to that excessive heat by the back end of this. And we also have a chance for rain. So rain could also cool things down. So that's why I'm calling a wide range from Taylorsville down to Lancaster, 85 to 90 for our high temperatures. Some of us see the rain. Some of us see more sunshine than others. All in all, not too bad of a day, but it will look a little bit cloudier from time to time. Now, I think the heaviest rain is mainly going to be west of Charlotte. Check it out. We have a little extra lift right here. A nearby front's going to help drive this up. It's isolated during the afternoon, a little bit more widespread as we head into South Carolina, and then we'll have some lingering rain up to about midnight and beyond for the mountains. And then we're drying out, clearing out, and it's actually going to be decently dry for tomorrow. We have no chances for rain for your Wednesday. Isolated showers from Thursday heading into Sunday, and that's a usual pop-up shower or storm potential. As far as our lows go, we're starting off in the lower 70s, and you might be saying, no big whoop. Well, guess what? We've actually been in the mid to the upper 70s for our lows for the last 2+ weeks. So this is a nice little adjustment, at least closer to the normal. And we haven't seen the 60s for highs, at least in the Charlotte area, for over a month. Tomorrow is my pick of the week, though. This is really easy, and Becca agrees on this consensus. It's 92. It feels better, so it's the least humid day of the week. Mix of cloud and sunshine, no rain chances. That's an easy choice. So a near normal day in the lower 90s with sunshine and no storms to worry about. Enjoy it, because it's not going to last long. Check it out. Our heat map, and I really like this product by the National Weather Service. This is just showing if, hey, you're going to have a major or an extreme heat possibility. Whenever you start to see this red take over, good chance that we're going to be near that 100 to 105 range for excessive heat in our heat indices. But then we even see some signs of a little bit of purple starting to pop up here on the map for your Sunday. So I think it's a good bet that you can bank on another heat advisory for Saturday, and then also on Sunday, and then Monday still kind of a question mark. Because check it out, our weekend forecast, 98, 99, feeling like 105 to 106. Absolutely yikes. Slight chance for a pop-up shower or thunderstorm. So that's why we're going weather alert for those days. And it could be extended in Monday as well, because that's still a 98-degree day. We only hit 100 once this year, and that was back in June. We'll have a good shot at that yet again, where 98's been a popular temperature. We've actually done that 6 times so far this year. So, all right, so enough about weather, enough about pumpkins. I promise I won't mention pumpkins anymore for at least the next 45 minutes. Let's head over to Becca for your morning commute.
All right, well, I got some good news in this traffic out there. Starting to settle down in many places. Was looking at a crash on I-77 at Gilead Road on those southbound lanes, but it does appear that it has cleared to the shoulder as drivers are moving a lot faster than the last 10 minutes. Also do want to let you know that this crash on eastbound Harris Boulevard at Idlewild Road, well, that is cleared, and you don't have to worry about that for your morning commute. In addition, though, newest incident to pop up on the board is going to be over towards Plaza, Briar Creek Road at westbound Independence Boulevard ramp. You can see that incident is in the intersection and causing delays in all directions, and that is a busy stretch of roadway. I will attest to that. Here's big picture, a big stretch of red on 77 northbound coming from York inbound into Mecklenburg County. Also a little bit slow on the inner loop of I-45 over towards Ballantyne and 95 northbound Gastonia. Also one of the slow spots as well. Again, still have that crash that did clear over towards Idlewild. Don't have to worry about that, but over towards Gastonia, Gaston County, Bud Wilson Road still blocked from Thompson all the way to Union.
All right, Becca, thanks so much. 8:08 now, and right now, folks across the Carolinas are mourning the loss of a civil rights icon. Civil rights attorney James Ferguson passed away yesterday at the age of 82.
WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane now live for us this morning. And Richard, he was considered one of the most successful defense attorneys, really nationwide.
That is absolutely correct, Ben. Good morning to you. Good morning, Lisa. Good Tuesday morning, everyone. And as the school bus passes us, it reminds us of one of his big cases that didn't have anything to do with defense, but it was actually instrumental in helping to desegregate the school system here in Charlotte, Mecklenburg, which led to nationwide end to segregation by busing. Civil rights attorney and local icon James E. Ferguson II has passed away at the age of 82. He's leaving behind a legacy of landmark victories and also devoted service to justice here in Charlotte. Ferguson, a Columbia Law School graduate, co-founded North Carolina's first integrated law firm in the late 1960s with Julius Chambers and Adam Stein. He also taught at Harvard and won civil rights cases before the Supreme Court. He was instrumental in the 1971 Swan versus Charlotte Mecklenburg Board of Education Supreme Court case, which upheld busing to desegregate schools nationwide. He also defended the Wilmington 10 and other civil rights activists and earned a reputation as Charlotte's go-to advocate in police misconduct and wrongful conviction cases. Local leaders from Mayor Vi Lyles to the Black Political Caucus praised Ferguson as a courageous advocate who challenged injustice throughout his career, something he spoke about after the passing of his longtime colleague and friend, Julius Chambers.
Our community and nation have benefited tremendously from Mr. Chambers' tireless efforts to ensure that all people are treated equally. I know that he never lost his commitment to help folks who needed help, and I'm not going to lose mine.
And we were benefited in this community and around the nation for the efforts of Mr. Ferguson. We can say right now that the funeral arrangements haven't been made public. When we get those, we'll present them to you. He leaves behind children, grandchildren, and even great-grandchildren. Again, he was 82 years old. We're right here in Charlotte. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
And a lasting legacy. Now, Richard, I know you've been around in Charlotte for a while, covered many stories. Wondering if you had any interaction with Attorney Ferguson.
Oh, absolutely. Of course, you mentioned the Patrick Cannon situation. My first major interactions with James Ferguson was their law firm was also in the place where the Board of Elections is housed, and so we had many interactions asking questions. He also owned at one time Charlotte's Excelsior Club, so we talked to him during CIAA events actually about the club and what they were doing or what they had special going on. So I've had it from social dealings with the stories about the Excelsior to political dealings and the legal defense of Patrick Cannon, and just to someone who I've known through a number of events, going to a number of events in Charlotte, especially years ago, ran into him. Just another one of the great people here in Charlotte.
All right. Thanks so much for that, Richard.
Richard, thanks. As we remember Mr. Ferguson, this morning we're joined by one of the people who knew him, State Representative Aisha Dew.
She represents District 107 in Mecklenburg County. Aisha, thanks so much for getting up early to talk with us this morning. Now, you knew Attorney Ferguson for a long time. Talk about your relationship with him.
As I call him Fergie, and then after he had grandchildren, then we all started calling him and his wife Mama B and Papa B. We all then followed the next generation. But he was definitely a father figure to me. He and his wife Barbara Ferguson. She started Afro-American Children's Theater, which helped to grow so many folks. And then, of course, so many people came through the law firm. Congressman Mel Watt came through the law firm. Also, Brandon Lofton, who is also serving in the state legislature with me. They've just grown so many people through the law firm, through Afro-American Children's Theater, and they were definitely family to so many of us, and inspired me to keep doing the work. When I was the first Black woman chair of the Mecklenburg County Democratic Party, that's when I really started this work from a political angle. But Yvonne Mims Evans, Judge Evans, also came from the law firm. So I remember sitting there folding envelopes at the table and supporting Harvey Gantt and so many people and so many lives that he's touched. Just a mentor and a supporter for many. Also, Justice Anita Earls also came from the law firm as well. And of course, Adam Stein's son is now our governor, and he was an avid supporter of all of us.
You talk about Anita Earls, Mel Watt, Harvey Gantt. I mean, you're talking about some of the real pioneers here. And as you mentioned, you are in the State House, Aisha. Explain more about his inspiration that he was for you.
Just always an inspiration. I remember with Julius Chambers, when he passed away, I was like, oh, Papa B, I get it. This is why I need to remain calm and to remain diligent. And so what I will say is that they gave us all space to grow. He gave us space to do what we wanted to. And he just, he endorsed me when I ran for chair. He was the county party attorney for me when I was chair of the party, and just a consistent supporter along the way. I just ran for DNC vice chair, and he endorsed me again. And so he's always been an advocate, a facilitator, and a calm, cool voice of justice. I remember just also being younger that I didn't realize the impact that he made on the world. He was the guy who took us roller skating after camp, right? And took us out to fun, fancy dinners. And so I remember seeing blood done sign my name and realizing the impact that made. Ben Chavis, who was also head of the NAACP after that, was just here for the NAACP convention. And so just realizing the broader impact that he made on the world as a person who just was a loving, caring, supportive, strong, strategic voice.
So you're talking about the impact that he made on you, the impact that he made on this city. This is someone, who argued cases in front of the Supreme Court, who won civil rights cases, who was known not here in Charlotte, but across the world. How do you think that impacted not only those who knew him, but those who learned from some of the lessons that he taught through his work?
Really and truly, I remember asking him about these major cases, right? And just that he was amazing, strong voice. I think I got my African National Congress pen, ANC pen, when he and Mel Watt also went to South Africa. And so, you're right. His impact was just broad and amazing. Across the world, and also he is in present tense one of the most gracious, humble people you would ever meet.
And how do you think, for yourself and for others, you can continue to honor his legacy?
Well, now we all have to run on and see what the end's going to be for us, right? So I'm glad that I was able to run for the state legislature. Also, another mentor and friend of mine, Representative Kelly Alexander, who paved the way for me as well and endorsed me. We're missing giants. We are now missing legends. And so we are their legacy. So we have to keep on moving. This will not be the last stop for me. And for all of us, we just have to keep an eye on civil rights and justice. For all of us, there's still so much work to do. We can't stop now.
Run on and see what the end. That's an old gospel song from back in the day in the church that we've heard many times. Thanks so much for joining us, Representative Aisha Dew, representing Mecklenburg County.
I've been in Charlotte almost my entire adult life, my adult life.
Yes.
It's a name that you know about, I've known about the whole time. And when you look at the volume of his work, it's like, how can one person accomplish so much, do it so well, and with such class and with such honor? He's a legacy to the city, and there's a movie to be made about his life. When you think about what he accomplished and what he did, how far he came. He was born in Asheville, but lived most of his life right here in Charlotte. We're so thankful to have him as part of our history.
Just hearing her rattle off some of the names, like Harvey Gantt and Kelly Alexander and Mel Watt, and it's like, among legends here in the Carolinas and across the country.
And international influence, what he did in South Africa, and what he's done for this country. He's a lawyer's lawyer.
For sure. Yeah. All right, Larry Sprinkle, adding more perspective. Thanks so much. All right, well, trending this morning, millions of people in shock over the death of actor Malcolm-Jamal Warner. He was best known for his role as Theo on The Cosby Show. Authorities say Warner drowned Sunday in the water off a beach in Costa Rica. Investigators say he was pulled from the water by people on the beach. He was treated by first responders and pronounced dead at the scene. Warner appeared on The Cosby Show all 8 seasons as Bill Cosby's fictional son, Theo. Now, after The Cosby Show, he went on to star in his own sitcom with comedian Eddie Griffin that was called Malcolm and Eddie. He also directed several shows, including The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and All That. Malcolm-Jamal Warner was 54 years old. This really came as a shock. I remember seeing it yesterday on social media, and I was like, what? Theo? Like, wait,
Theo.
It was.
I know.
As we were saying earlier, this was the Cosby Show appointment television back in the 80s. Thursday night, 8 o'clock, you were there sitting in front of the TV watching it. And I remember it was like a crush. Like, he was cute. We loved him.
I think everybody watched it.
Yeah. Everybody watched it.
Everybody doesn't know anything about it, and he was a favorite on there. You know, so often in the history of television, you look at child actors and even movies, and the end result in many cases is such a terrible thing. But he went on and still stayed in the business. I mean, his name may not have been out front, but he worked hard. He was such a dedicated guy and a really good man and a great family man, too.
Correct. He has a young daughter. He has a wife, and they were apparently on the family vacation when this happened.
I think everybody identified with different members of the Huxtable family.
Yes.
You know, Rudy was roughly our age, and so like I always thought, oh, Rudy would be like a classmate of mine. And not to mention the fact that right after the Cosby Show was a different world.
Yes.
Also legendary, also trailblazing, and TV today I still think is great, but the sort of universal watching of it and the sharing of it is not the same as it was back in the 90s at 8 p.m. on Thursday.
Right, and what's so interesting, you mentioned a different world. They're now filming like the reboot of that. That's actually happening on my college campus. But I was talking with some friends and we were saying, you know, would some of the Cosby cast be in this?
Yeah, be amazing.
No.
Be amazing.
All right, so we've got to move on now. We're talking about weather, and yes, the heat continues. Chris?
I'm embarrassed. I thought there was another story after this. I still have my graphic of the pumpkins up.
Oh
so
my
you gotta give
goodness.
Me well,
he won't let it go.
Okay, I was trying to let it go, but then somebody just messaged me. Daphne from Salisbury said, wow, you have fantastic looking pumpkins. So
now you're getting a big head.
But I bet she doesn't want one.
Yeah, it says, wow, hey Chris, wow, fantastic pumpkins. You have a green thumb. Here's the thing, Daphne. No, I do not. Because if I tried to grow these, they would be dead. But then just because I threw a bunch of dirt that had pumpkin seeds and I had no idea, they grew. So I swear that's the last time I'm going to mention it. I was going to do it one more time because I want to give a shout out to Daphne because, hey, it's always nice to hear from you because we don't know who's watching on this stream especially. So feel free to message us. I'd love to give you a shout out as well. Shout out to July because July 2025 looks like it's going to have no problem taking over the number 3 spot for the hottest July on record. So I went through where we're expected to be over the next 10 days to complete the month of July. And I don't really see us moving up to the number 1 spot. Because Becca and I were just looking at what 1993 was. We hit 100 degrees 5 times in July 1993. And then Becca also had another stat that she showed me. It was, Becca, is this right? 6 days in a row at 100?
5 days.
Oh, 5 days in a row at 100 degrees in 1986. So yeah, no, we're not doing that. We're close. We've hit a bunch of 98s. We just hit a 99. But yeah, it's also our hot lows that have really brought us up this average. But that is crazy to have multiple 100-degree days during a month in general, but to have 5 in a row back in 1986. So yeah, I think we're going to settle for the number 3 spot. Don't see us really moving anything past that because check out where our lows are going to be, about 72 to 77, and then we're ranging in the mid-70s to complete the month, and then 90 to 92, and then we have that mid to the upper 90s to complete the rest of the month. And yeah, those temperatures are going to be soaring. Whenever you have a high in the upper 90s, likely the dew point's going to be either side of 70. You're at least going to be feeling like 100 to 102 degrees. Once you get close to that 105, the National Weather Service is going to issue a heat advisory, and that is exactly what's going to come true. I want to talk about the pick of the week. That's tomorrow, and it's for a really good reason. It's actually 2 main reasons. Number 1, it's going to be less humid. Check this out. Our dew points are thriving still today. We're feeling that muggy air. It's also going to be cloudy to mostly cloudy at times, seeing a little more sunshine. And then temperatures dropping down to the lower to the mid 60s as far as our dew points go. That's fantastic. That's much drier, still on the humid range, but things doing much, much better. And then that's the only day that really stands out from the rest. Tomorrow also is going to be rain-free, so good news there. And all in all, it is nice to see a drier trend, but we'll be back to that usual pattern coming up with those hot, hot temperatures. Let's get over to Becca with another look at traffic to complete the half hour. Ooh, that's moving slow.
Yeah, I got some more problems out there. A disabled vehicle on I-77 northbound near Westinghouse Boulevard is really causing a stretch of slow-moving traffic. Do be aware of that as you are heading out. Also, a little bit slow over towards I-77 at Carowinds Boulevard as drivers head from York County inbound into Mecklenburg. Here's big picture. Still slow 77 northbound as well as the inner loop of I-45. Do want to let you know of a couple of incidents still causing delays, including this one, Briar Creek Road at westbound Independence Boulevard ramp. You can see it is in the intersection and causing delays in all directions. In addition, right in front of the Charlotte Douglas Airport entrance, we have this fender bender crash on outbound Wilkinson Boulevard at Josh Birmingham Parkway. That is currently blocking one lane of traffic. In addition, this one, Berkshire Boulevard south at North Hoskins Road. Drive safe.
All right, Becca, thanks. Live pictures over Uptown right now. Keep it right here for more breaking news and traffic right here on WCNC Plus.
Good morning, everybody. For your Tuesday, we're going to see a range of the mid to the upper 80s. Some of us even touching that 90-degree point. All in all, we have more clouds to start off the day, but we will see some areas of sunshine on and off throughout the day. Still going to have a real feel in the mid-90s to even the upper 90s in some spots. We have a chance for a few showers and storms developing later in the afternoon. It just depends where you are. I think there's a little bit more so activity further west you go of I-77, but they'll be scattered throughout the day and then eventually winding down through the evening. That's going to set us up for a nice dry day on Wednesday. No chances for rain. Also feel less humid as well. 92 then, 92 again with more clouds on Thursday. The mid-90s on Friday, and there it is again. More extreme heat, 98 to 99 this coming Saturday and Sunday, and we're going to roll those upper 90s into the first days of next week and likely rocking the mid to the upper 90s to complete the month of July. Stay cool, everybody, and enjoy the break while we have it. Let's take a break and head over to traffic with Becca.
All right, good morning, Chris. Slow moving on I-77 northbound at Westinghouse Boulevard. That is all due to a disabled vehicle that is blocking at least one lane of traffic, so keep that in mind. Also want to let you know some good news. Briar Creek Road at Independence Boulevard ramp. That incident has cleared to the shoulder, but still have this active crash right in front of the airport. Outbound Wilkinson Boulevard at Josh Birmingham Parkway. It is blocking that center lane there. Still slow moving on 77 northbound as well as 85 north over towards Gastonia. In addition, the inner loop of I-45 over towards Ballantyne, also stop and go traffic.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining us live on WCNC Plus at 8:30. I'm Lisa Washington.
And I'm Ben Thompson. Happening today, neighbors are going to gather for a community rally along Sugar Creek Road. They're calling on local leaders to step up and address the crime there, drugs and prostitution that have plagued that area for years.
WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards is live for us this morning. And Destiny, you actually spoke to folks ahead of today's rally.
Yeah, I spoke with some of the organizers of this rally, and they say frustration about this has been building for some time now. They say they're tired of seeing their streets overrun with crime, drug activity, and neglect year after year. And that's why today at 5:30, Sugar Creek residents and community leaders are coming together to demand urgent action for their neighborhood, especially along Reagan Drive and Sugar Creek Road. Organized by Charles Robinson, founder of One Time Inc., the group says families here have witnessed violence, prostitution, drug sales, and public indecency right outside their homes and businesses for years. Robinson says the city's efforts so far, including new streetlights and surveillance cameras, haven't made a meaningful difference. At this rally, they want to bring attention to the issues in the community and are calling on city and county leaders for more than temporary fixes.
When a terrible situation happens, we have a lot of leaders that, come out. I need you to come out right now because this is something that is horrific on Reagan Drive.
The state of the corridor area didn't happen overnight. It happened over years. So we have to continue to invest, and it's going to be a multi-year effort.
Charlotte's Mayor Pro Tem Dante Anderson plans to be at tonight's rally and says the Sugar Creek area is part of the city's Corridors of Opportunity initiative, a multi-year plan that invests millions in infrastructure, affordable housing, as well as safety improvements. And this rally is happening at 5:30 this evening. It's happening at the intersection of West Sugar Creek Road and Reagan Drive. And Robinson says this is just the beginning of bringing these issues to light. Ben, Lisa.
And Dusty, give us an idea, what specific changes would these neighbors like to see?
Yeah, they're really looking for some action right now. So they're looking for things like consistent police presence, targeted crackdowns on drug and prostitution hotspots, mental health and homelessness outreach, and then also having a dedicated city, county, or state liaison to work with this specific community to find long-term solutions. This is a rally that's organized by One Time Inc. as well as a coalition called United Neighborhoods of Charlotte. And again, they're trying to really do something that is going to make visible change right now. They say they plan to do a Sugar Creek safety town hall soon and also bring their issues directly to city council. But obviously we talked to Dante Anderson, who is the mayor pro tem as well as the representative for District 1. And she talked about, the corridors of opportunity, which includes closing down a lot of the motels where some of this prostitution may be happening, a lot of this crime as well. And they said that, or she said that closing down these motels has already made a difference in decreasing that crime. Some of those motels are being converted to affordable housing. So change is happening, but obviously it's slow going. Like she said, it's change that has to happen over time. But she also brought up that the city's budget includes money for a youth program to help them get off the streets as well, because we have a lot of reoffending juvenile offenders. So a lot of things in the works, but she did acknowledge that, this is not something that's going to change overnight. She plans to be at tonight's rally, not just as a supporter, but also to engage and listen to the people who are bringing up these issues as well.
All right, Destiny Richards reporting live for us there. All right, Destiny, thank you. Appreciate that. All right, turning back to your forecast right now, and Chris Mulcahy, and today a bit not as hot, we'll say, as yesterday.
Yeah, the warmest we're going to get today is 90 degrees. So that means most of the afternoon. Check it out. Ranging anywhere from about 85 to 89. And it's overall going to be a partly sunny to a mostly cloudy day. I think you do have some areas of sunshine. Right now, the clouds have taken over for the brief moment with a chance for scattered rain throughout the day. Today is July 22nd, but it's also National Mango Day, so celebrate accordingly. And National Hammock Day are the two that really stand out for me, and a unique type of fudge day as well. We have highs right around 90, but as I mentioned, the cloud's taking over. I might have been a little bit overzealous going for the 90, but I've been burned before, so I think I just went for it. But it looks like I think most of us are going to level out in the upper 80s. But hey, I'm letting you know, some of us are going to hit 90, but if a passing storm happens anytime in the afternoon, that is going to put a stint on our warm up to that 90 mark. So that means we could be ending this wonderful streak of 15 straight days of 90+ degree temperatures. I know everyone's super sad about it, but we'll kick right back off where we started. Yesterday we hit 99, and that's the second hottest day of 2025. Outside of that, we hit 100 degrees on June 25th, and then we've hit 98 6 times. Well, guess what? This weekend's going to be 98 and 99, so we'll be right back in the top 3 once again. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. We're already seeing signs of rain starting to develop right here around Greensboro. So that shows that we're going to be turning things back on. We'll see on and off rain throughout the afternoon. I think primarily it's going to be more of a western side of the Carolinas to see some of the heaviest batches of showers. That's what our futurecast is indicating here. So hit or miss shower or storm potential. Up here, though, not even a chance for thunderstorms. So it's really only our viewing area in North Carolina and areas down towards the south that have the best chance for at least a thunderstorm in general. But there will be some periods of some heavier rain. Not everyone will see these, so it's about a 40 to 50% coverage area. And then, as I mentioned, the further west you go, the better chance for showers and storms, especially up in the high country. And I would also say over in York and Chester County as well. And then by about midnight, most of the rain's done. Could have a leftover shower along the Tennessee border. Then by tomorrow, whole lot of nothing. This is something great. Scattered rain today, and then we're nice and dry for your Wednesday, and then isolated showers and storms thereafter. Tomorrow's forecast, this was an easy choice for pick of the week. Boom, boom, boom. High temperatures right around 90 to 92. Then you're going to have that real feel, feeling anywhere from about 92 to 95. So I think that even comes down a little bit. I think that you realistically are almost going to have the real feel close to the actual temperature because of how low those dew points are. And then tomorrow, 92 for a high. You got to love it. Enjoy it. Check it out. The Ghost Peppers are actually in town the next 3 days. So I'm using their graphic that I usually do when I tape a forecast for the Jumbotron. Their game tomorrow is at 12:30, and it's going to actually feel great at that point. Really seeing some comfortable air for the first time in quite some time. But that mugginess is right back for your Thursday. That'll support an isolated storm chance once again. And then after Thursday, we're on the way up. Mid-90s on Friday, back to heat advisory status Saturday and Sunday. So, Becca, we can't escape the heat, but maybe we will in October.
All right, we got to enjoy today's forecast as well as tomorrow's. Live look outside. Traffic slowly starting to improve out there. I-77 at Carowinds Boulevard. About 20 minutes ago, this was packed, especially on those northbound lanes. So starting to see that heaviest traffic lighten up a little bit. Still a little bit slow on 77 at Westinghouse Boulevard on those northbound lanes due to that disabled vehicle, but traffic starting to move a little bit faster. In addition, still have this active crash right in front of the airport. This is outbound Wilkinson Boulevard at Josh Birmingham Parkway. Looks like a fender bender, and currently 1 lane of traffic is blocked off. In addition, and this is big picture, 77 still one of the slow spots this morning, as well as 85 northbound over towards Gaston County. Do want to let you know of this incident that is still active. It's at the Brookshire Boulevard southbound at North Hoskins Road. You can see that stretch of orange there indicating some slowdowns. And then over towards Gaston County due to a crash from yesterday that did take down some power lines. Bud Wilson Road is still blocked both directions from Thompson all the way to Union. To get around this, you'll want to take Beatty Road to Kendrick, and then you can get back on to Bud Wilson Road.
Becca, thanks. A Newton police officer facing murder charges this morning after he shot and killed a man last month. Officer Carlos Uribe killed 21-year-old Camden Childers on June 26th after a brief police chase ended in a confrontation in Conover. Investigators say Uribe tried to pull Childers over for speeding and reckless driving. He's now on administrative leave.
8:39 now. A Mooresville pet grooming company is under fire this morning after a former employee shared some shocking video online of dogs being mistreated. WCNC Charlotte's Tradisha Woodard has a closer look at the response and what pet parents need to know.
Classy Critter Pet Resort and Spa. They're known for their clean cuts and hospitality.
Some of the staff members are just such great people.
But now disturbing video has cracked that image wide open, showing what has happened behind closed doors when no one's watching.
I was in complete shock because We've been going there for 3 years.
A client who wishes to remain anonymous says the video is disturbing and hard to watch. It shows a dog restrained on a grooming table, jerked, punched, and visibly terrified.
And I don't even know, after seeing this video, how long this person worked there. I kind of feel like that if something happened once, there's a possibility of happening again.
The owner of the facility has addressed the situation on social media via emails and to all incoming callers.
Hi, if you're calling about the video that is going around social media, the behavior is totally unacceptable and it was addressed immediately, and the employee no longer works here. She was also reported to Animal Control and the Sheriff's Office. I have zero tolerance for any type of abuse with the animals in my care. I have made this clear with my employees.
But still, some pet owners say the damage has already been done. The broken trust has many walking away for good.
Will we go back? No. After this, and I'm sorry to say that, but I think we're going to end up having a mobile groomer instead, and that has a camera and leaves their door open.
Tradisha Woodard, WCNC Charlotte.
The Mooresville Police Department and Iredell County Animal Services are aware of the allegations and tell us this is an open and active investigation. In just hours, Kings Mountain city leaders are set to meet as frustrations boil over on the city's tap water. Neighbors say it tastes funny and it smells even worse. Last week, the mayor received backlash after suggesting that those who don't like it should run for city council.
It feels like if you want to do something about the water, just run for council and fix it yourself. And my response is kind of like, well, that's why you were elected.
Now, the city maintains the water is safe, but many people just aren't convinced. Hundreds have signed a petition demanding transparency and action. Tonight's meeting could be a chance for people to get some answers.
In just hours, Mecklenburg County is going to swear in its new election board. The 5 members will oversee the upcoming city election in November and next year's midterms. And speaking of elections, one city council race heating up fast ahead of November. Republican James Bauer challenging incumbent Tijuana Brown for her District 3 seat. Brown facing a federal indictment this morning. She says, though, she's not giving up. And Bauer says he's not deterred by the battle either.
Many times we see decisions that are based on attracting people who are outside the family. But I look at Charlotte as my family, and I want to do what's best for them.
Before the general election in November, first Brown faces 3 challengers in the Democratic primary: Montravius King, Joey Mayo, and Warren Turner. 8:42 right now here on WCNC Plus, and live pictures right now over the White House, where President Trump is promising new trade deals after a meeting with another world leader. But as NBC's Alice Barr explains, it comes as he faces growing heat over the Epstein files and new red flags about his so-called big, beautiful bill.
President Trump today meeting with the president of the Philippines, expected to talk trade 10 days out from sweeping reciprocal tariffs set to hit trading partners around the world. The Treasury Secretary saying the administration is not rushing trade negotiations.
We are more concerned with high quality deals than getting these deals done by August 1st.
As U.S. businesses brace for the impact of higher import taxes and weigh passing costs on to consumers, a new report from the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office projecting the president's One Big Beautiful Bill Act will add $3.4 trillion to the national debt, with spending and lost revenue from extended tax cuts far outstripping cuts to programs like Medicaid, expected to cost 10 million Americans their health insurance.
Republicans' signature bill is the ultimate betrayal of the American people.
Republicans emphasizing the law's provisions like no tax on tips, as leadership tries to brush off efforts led by House Republican Thomas Massey to force a vote on releasing the full files about notorious sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
There is no daylight between the House Republicans, the House, and the president on maximum transparency.
The House Speaker arguing to give the administration space, with the White House underscoring President Trump's request to unseal grand jury testimony and for the DOJ and FBI to release any other credible evidence, seeking to push past a lingering controversy still dividing the MAGA base. 1 year after former President Biden dropped out of the 2024 race, his son Hunter suggested in a new interview that his father's poor performance in that fateful debate may have been caused by using the sleep aid Ambien after extensive foreign travel. The former president's office declined to comment. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
A major development this morning in a case that's been at the center of national conversation for years. After 5 years of waiting, a federal judge sentenced former Louisville police detective Brett Hankinson to 33 months in prison. He was convicted of violating Breonna Taylor's civil rights after shooting blindly into her apartment during a deadly raid in 2020. Attorney Ben Crump and the Taylor family say this wasn't the sentence they wanted, but they are thankful he will serve time.
And so we are grateful that he is at least going to prison, and have to thank for those 3 years about Breonna Taylor and that her life mattered.
Hankinson will also serve 3 years of probation.
Right now, the heat doesn't seem like it's going to be going away anytime soon, and of course, it's creating safety hazards.
WCNC Charlotte's Miles Harris takes a look at the people who have to work outside and are trying to stay safe in these sweltering conditions.
From construction workers to moving crews, Charlotte's outdoor workforce faces heightened risks during the summer heat, which is why health experts stress safety protocols are critical.
The heat is really just our biggest issue.
For people who work outside, adjusting to the heat is a must in efforts to stay safe.
With the heat, generally our natural body's response is to dilate your arteries. You're going to want to sweat. You're losing a lot of volume. So it's important to stay on top of that.
That's why some businesses like Morris Jenkins are making sure their staff is staying safe.
The breaks are the most important part. Go sit in your van, cool down, then come back and finish the work. I'd rather take a little bit longer on the job to get it done right than risk the health of the technician.
But it's not just workers. Medics says they responded to 15 heat-related calls here in Charlotte over the weekend.
You want to be careful in the heat.
Dr. Rohit Bandari with Piedmont Medical Center urges hydration before and during any outdoor activity.
When you are sweating, you're losing that potassium, you're losing the sodium.
To protect you and your family from heat-related illnesses, Mecklenburg County Public Health recommends limiting physical activity outside, drinking plenty of water, and wearing lightweight, light-colored, loose-fitting clothes. In Southeast Charlotte, I'm Miles Harris, WCNC Charlotte.
Thanks a lot, Miles. Great job as always. So I just wanted to go through the top heat dangers. This is the way that it goes in chronological order. Sunburn, we all know about that one. Heat rash, heat cramps, heat exhaustion, heat stroke. The bottom two are never a good sign, but then oftentimes one can lead to another. Many times now, of course, if you are wearing your appropriate SPF, you don't have to worry about that. And same thing with heat rash. It really just depends on your skin type. But once you start getting heat cramps, it can lead to heat exhaustion, and heat exhaustion is the step before heat stroke. And as I have told people before, having a person that has dealt with this before, heat exhaustion, really your body's telling you, hey, I'm thirsty, and you just have to make sure that you're going to be listening to that, or you start to feel fatigue. If you push through that, you can easily get heat exhaustion. Just picture being really exhausted, but to the point that, hey, you almost feel like you're going to pass out. And then once you stop sweating, that's really where you're on your way to heat stroke. So I don't want anyone to have to deal with any of that. Today is not one that you have to. I'm just kind of explaining that out of what Miles was talking about, because today is a nice little change. Letting you know we do have some visibilities that have dropped down from place to place. We're also dealing with some thicker clouds now, so that thick cloud cover is going to keep temperatures from warming up too much. 96 degrees, 98 and 99 is where we have been in the recent days. 99 was yesterday. That's the first time that we've hit 99, and also the second hottest temperature that we've had in 2025. And our high temperatures are going to take a break. Today we have highs that likely might not even hit 90 degrees for a lot of us. I think the hottest that you're going to get across the area is 90 degrees. And then by tomorrow, it's going to be such a better forecast. We have 92. It's drier. It actually feels pretty great. And then that moisture will come right back before you know it. And then we're also have a nice mix of cloud and sunshine with no chances for rain. By Thursday, Friday, it's starting to feel more humid again. You're starting to introduce those daily pop-up showers and thunderstorms. And then by the weekend, you're talking about highs rebounding back into the upper 90s. As far as any storm chances go, You have a chance for storms today, but there's no designated severe risk with them. As far as the flooding goes, it's really areas west and southwest that have the highest potential. So let's go through our rain chances over the coming days. Really don't have to worry about anything tomorrow. You're seeing a scattered shower or thunderstorm really pop up as early as right around noon. Noon to 2 is where we're starting to see them a little bit better coverage. There'll be some breaks in the clouds at this point as well, some heavier downpours. Just depends where you are. Those that don't see the rain will have the warmer temperatures. Those that do, likely only hitting about the mid-80s from place to place. But you see those showers starting to really gain traction and flourish a little bit more further off towards the west. So I think really west of I-77 is going to have the highest chance for rain. Outside of that, you are going to see on and off shower chances right along the mountains and the Tennessee border through the overnight. Taking a look at our future cast, different version of that. This is our HRRR. HRRR usually likes to trend where nothing's going to happen. This would be the best case scenario for if you don't want rain. Literally has a whole lot of nothing, but it does keep showers again west of I-77 a little bit more prevalent, but not too much activity. But the clouds, regardless, are in agreement for the course of today. So our 7-day forecast, you can see that the break is not going to last long. 90 today, or at least the mid to the upper 80s, just touching 90 degrees. Lower 90s on Wednesday and Thursday, and then after that, we're talking about some excessive heat once again. High temperatures are going to be in the upper 90s. That's excessive. So realistically, 98 and 99 this coming weekend, we could have a heat index right around 105, 106. So just as we had last weekend, each and every day we'll likely have a heat advisory. And even this product from the National Weather Service showing that we have a major heat impact for your Saturday, even some signs of extreme heat right around the urban heat island, which is Charlotte, Gastonia, over to Lincolnton and Cabarrus and Union County. So stay cool, everybody, and enjoy the break from the heat while we have it. Now let's head over to traffic with Becca. Good morning.
Good morning. At least we are halfway done with summer. Outside now, it's still slow out there. The usual spot, I-77 at Nations Ford Road. I'd say 77 still pretty slow from I-485 all the way to Uptown, but in other areas, it is starting to improve out there. Matthews to Uptown will only take about 29 minutes actually on Independence. Salisbury on 85, 51, Waxhaw 39, and Belmont about 24 minutes. Like I mentioned, 77 northbound going to be one of the slow spots this morning, as well as over towards Gaston County. We just got this confirmed. A crash is on I-85 northbound near Main Street. Backups extend all the way to about 2.5 miles, and 2 out of the 3 lanes currently blocked with this, so this will likely add 10, even 20 extra minutes to that morning commute. In addition, I want to let you know that this crash did clear outbound Wilkinson Boulevard at Josh Birmingham Parkway, so don't have to worry about that on your commute, but may have to worry about this one, Berkshire Boulevard south at North Hoskins Road.
Hi, this is Larry Sprinkle. Time for our Tuesday Tailwagger along with their friends at Animal Care and Control. Last week we featured the guy by the name of Blue, and Blue still there, still waiting for his forever home. Let's bring on, speaking of big guys, this is Taz. Taz is a great dog. He weighs about 50 pounds. He's about 4 years old. He is just a fine dog, loves to be outside, loves to play with his ball, very active, great on a leash, but also a nice couch potato too. Just a really happy, friendly dog. Probably better if there's no other dog, and especially no cats, please. His name is Taz. By the way, Animal Care and Control, Monday through Friday, they're open 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Here he is one more time. His name is Taz. He's about 4 years old, weighs 50 pounds, and Taz is our very special Tuesday Tailwagger.
Thanks, Larry. With back to school around the corner, parents are about to get even more busy. To help make things easier, Levate Children's just launched a new virtual care program for kids. It allows families to get a range of services online, including checkups and follow-up care. The service runs from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week. Well, speaking of back to school, we want to tell you about the school supply drive that we are hosting. Many students begin the school year without the supplies they need. That's why we're partnering with United Way. You can scan that QR code that you see right there on your screen to donate now, or you can just go to our website, WCNC.com/community. You can donate until August 11th.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up next, right here on WCNC Plus, our live impact news stream with Jane Monreal. That's coming your way at the top of the hour. Keep it right here on WCNC Plus this morning and all day.
Hello. Today is going to be much cooler than what we had yesterday. Yesterday we hit 99, felt like 105. Today might feel like the mid 90s, but hey, we're only getting into the mid to the upper 80s to right around 90 degrees. That's the max. Lower 90s for our pick of the week Wednesday. That's the best day. No rain chances to worry about either. And then lower to the mid 90s to end the week with a chance for an isolated storm returning. Then the usual upper 90s, a chance at a thunderstorm is possible each day, but also each day could be as hot as 105, likely heat advisories, and that's why we're going weather alert for this Saturday and Sunday. Similar forecast for your Monday. Becca, take it away. What's going on?
All right, traffic starting to look a lot better out there. Live look outside from York County. This is I-77 across the area. You can see both directions doing good out there. Now, it is a little bit slow still coming from York inbound into Mecklenburg County, basically from I-485 all the way into Uptown, but that should slowly start to improve over the next hour. Still have this active crash, Gaston County, 85 northbound near Main Street. Currently 2 lanes blocked with a stretch of delays around 2.5 miles.